Hey everybody, I'm Nick Gismondi for NARCh.com. Let's take a look back and see what happened this weekend in the NARCh Regional Weekend Report. This week we headed to the dual rink in Snellville, Georgia, known as SGAA. 30 teams competed representing 4 different states. Here's how the tournament played out. With the cooperation of the SGAA and some organized parents, we were able to put together a 3-team 6-and-under Cub division. The Dragons and Puck Monkeys battled it out in a playoff game that the Puck Monkeys pulled out in overtime 4-3. The Atlanta Fire Breathers were just a little more experienced than the Puck Monkeys and the Dragons and won all of their games, including a 4-1 victory over the Monkeys in the championship. Since many of these players were actually 4-5, I'm sure we'll have a lot of people excited for a Cub division at next year's qualifier. The Atom division consisted of 3 teams. The Blade Runners from Tennessee would play PBC Predators in the playoff, and the Gladiators would await the winner. The Predators would avenge their earlier loss to the Blade Runners and come out of that game victorious 6-4. The championship was our loudest of the day, as many parents were screaming in support at the top of their lungs. The Gladiators would lead at the half 4-0, but the Predators mounted a huge comeback and tied the game 4-4, the fourth with just under a minute to go. The Predators had momentum as we headed into overtime. Number 39, Case Santa Maria for the Gladiators would be the hero in this one, as he scored in overtime and secured gold for the home rink Gladiators. 4 Mike teams battled it out, and it truly was a ladder division. Dream Sports Dragons Red looked great in North Carolina, and they looked even better here. The Maniacs played them tough in the first matchup, but when they faced each other for the gold title, the Dragons dominated the play and shut out the Maniacs 6-0. The Dragons are a true Mite Platinum team, and it certainly wouldn't shock us if they win the Platinum title at the finals in July. 5 score teams competed in this tournament. The only team we had seen before were the Dream Sports Dragons Red, who actually played up in Pee Wee at the Raleigh tournament. They would go undefeated to grab the number 1 seed, and the talented Savannah Sting would be seeded second to set the stage for a great final. We knew this was going to be a great battle between 2 heavyweight squirt teams, and it was. The Sting would jump out to an early 3-0 lead, but the Dragons would battle back, scoring the next 2. The Dragons applied a lot of pressure on a few power plays, but just couldn't find the net. Number 19, Austin Majera, would score a 4th goal for the Sting that sealed the deal. The Sting would take gold. In the Squirt Silver Championship, the Maniacs and Carolina Freeze would square off. The Maniacs are a notch between the Dragons and the Sting, and the Carolina Freeze are a notch below the Maniacs. The Freeze gave it their all and played a hard game, but the Maniacs were just a little too much and took the Silver Championship by a final of 6-2. The Pee Wee division was our largest of the tournament, with 7 teams competing. The Atlanta Cobras grabbed the number 1 seed, going undefeated through the 4-game preliminary round robin, and would face the Savannah Sting for the gold title. The Savannah Sting's only loss came to the Cobras. The championship was much like their first matchup, with the Cobras winning the battles and controlling the play. Number 11, Jacob Moore, and number 91, Cole Stewart, each had 2 goals in the championship for the Cobras, as they went on to win the gold title 6-2. In Pee Wee Silver, Team Carolina 96 would defeat the Bruise Brothers in the playoff game to face the Savannah Stings Squirts in the championship. The older TC team would dominate the play and time of possession, but the Sting scored 2 first-period goals, and it proved to be all they would need. The Sting would bend but not break, and goalie Chris Gertzmeyer had an incredible game in net, stopping all 20 shots he faced. The Sting would add an empty net goal and win the title by a final of 3-0. 4 teams competed in the Bantam division. Peachtree City Jets grabbed the top seed and defeated the Lima Beans in the semi-final, while the Vulcan Venom needed overtime to defeat the Columbia Cyclones. These 2 teams had a tight game the first time they met, and the Jets won 6-4. The Jets would also come out flying in this one, as they went into the half with a commanding 4-1 lead. The Venom would mount a minor comeback and pull within 2 goals, but that's as close as it got. Number 16, Tanner Carnerbuse, would have a hat trick in the championship for the Jets. We saw some great action in a fairly unpredictable men's division. Playmaker Screaming Eagles and Playmaker Black would play to a 5-4 game where the Eagles would come out on top. But in a rematch in the semifinals, it would also be a 1-goal game, but with the opposite outcome. Playmaker Black advanced to the championship against the Carolina Money Shot, who went undefeated. playmaker had their chances but just struggled getting it past Grant Lowry, who also earned top goalie honors for the division. Number 3, Jake Kapitsky, and number 5, Nick Curry, each had 2 goals, as the money shot headed back to Carolina with the gold by a final of 7-3. That's going to do it for this weekend. For more information on this regional, as well as regionals going on around the country, including photos, videos, blogs, and more, log on to NARCh.com. For the NARCh Regional Weekend Report, I'm Nick Gismondi.